Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Woo!
Oh, we are here. Back
we
again.
are. I was going to say we are back with another. Well, this time it's not Clubhouse. It's actually sort of a LinkedIn, YouTube Live, and I think Facebook Live. Is that right, Jeremy? Are we on Facebook as well?
YouTube Live, Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live. Right now.
Amazing. Right. So for anybody that does follow the Hiring Lens, every single Friday we do a Clubhouse, but on the last Friday of the month, we do a live show, which is obviously what this is all about today. So guys, what would be really great is if you could just pop into the comments, let us know where you're sort of tuning in from. We'd love to see where you are in the world. And of course, we love this to be a really interactive sort of show. So please do, if you've got anything to say, you've got any comments, anything to sort of add to what we're talking about, please do share it because we love hearing from you guys and having that interaction. I suppose first off, let's hear who the hosts are today. So who do you want to start with?
I'll go. Be Christine. I want to say this is Jeremy Nichols. I'm with Gecko Hospitality in Tampa, Florida. I focus on hospitality recruitment for the state of Florida and the Caribbean sometimes. I'm seeing a lot of people popping up. So hi, Amen. Yeah. Hi, Christopher. Hey, Ian. Hey, Karen. Oh, Monique, Gina, Marcia. Okay, I'm going to let Christine take over. But before I do that, Christine, yes is the answer. I told you I would buy your book, and I did. And I have it here, and it is very lovely. And I have a nice, wonderful card to my daughter in here. So thank you so much.
Yes. Did she wear her tattoos?
She did already, and I had to scrape them off of her.
Awesome. Yes, I'm Christine Trippi. I'm the founder of The Wise Pineapple, helping you get sweet results in your hotels and your culture and operations. And I'm the author of Yes is the Answer. And if you purchase a book directly from me, I will send your daughter tattoos.
And I did not remove her handprint. So sorry, I put it here for you. Here, I'll set it up for you.
I love it. Yeah, oh, that's nice.
There you go.
I almost asked pre-show if you were going to put Christine's book behind, and I was like, I don't know why I didn't, but I'm so glad I didn't now because you were obviously teeing it up to be like, hey. So I'm so glad I kept my mouth shut for like the first time in my life. Right, hello everyone. My name is Aidan. I'm the owner of Ayla Recruitment. I own a finance recruitment business here in the UK, predominantly the home counties and London. Been in finance recruitment for over 10 years. Love doing this every week with the three of these. Obviously, they're hospitality led, and I am not. I touch on hospitality amongst a number of different industries, but I'm really passionate about recruitment done well, as is everybody on here. So love hosting these and can't wait to get going again. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so my name is Thomas Finn. I'm the managing director of Edwards and Finn, which is a specialist revenue management and commercial analytics recruitment firm. I'm also the host of ENF TV, which is a weekly YouTube channel, all based around the sort of commercial but also operational world of hospitality, bringing in commercial leaders and talking about various different challenges. And every so often we have a few hot wings in there somewhere. So guys, I just want to say a huge thank you to so much activity over here on my screen. People, Washington from Marcia. We got Gina from Jeremy, you might know this person. Gina from Tampa Bay, right? Florida?
I can't.
You know her?
Yes. Hey, Gina. Yes.
Of course you do.
Yes.
Just say yes, Jeremy.
She's in my DMs. She's a bartender. I know she is. I do. All
right. So we've got so many people, and thank you so much for your interactions. As I say, please make sure you put in your questions, get involved in the conversation where you want. Yeah. Jeremy, why don't we kick the discussion off? What's on the agenda today?
Christine's intro. Christine.
My intro?
Yeah, do your intro. You already did it? Oh, I was looking at the banners. Yeah, I was going to. Anyway. All right. So there we go. There's a big whiff.
Jeremy's had a very long morning, people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very long morning. Christine normally comes out with like 3 cups of coffee, energy. It must have just whoosh. So all right. So I'm going to throw this banner up here, and here we go. Brand perception. How easy or difficult can this make your recruitment process?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Right. I'll start with that because I'm pretty sure it was my suggestion, right? So I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus and say, go on, have that. That's mine. So the reason why I went with this, and I wanted to talk about it as a discussion point, is because simply brand perception gets lost amongst when you hire, right? So you should be hiring with the thought that brand perception has to be your number one priority, and your number one priority when you're not hiring, yet it gets forgotten about. And then actually you find that hiring can be a lot more difficult when it gets around to the point that you need to hire. But actually, if you focus on your brand perception, your marketing, your socials, and everything just naturally throughout the year, and the image that you portray, you'll find that recruitment is fairly easy, or it's a lot more straightforward in times of difficulty, which we find ourselves in now. Yes. And I feel like, and I talk about it on Clubhouse all the time, adverts are just written to tell candidates what an employer wants and not the other way around. And actually, if you start thinking, what can I give to candidates? Why do people want to work for us? What can we deliver for them? Your brand perception goes up, and actually your recruitment difficulty goes down, and it becomes a lot easier. And I just think maybe employers don't think about it enough. So that's why I wanted to bring that up.
Something that I've been talking a lot about is we're talking about recruiting. But rather than thinking about it as recruiting, changing that perception to attracting. How are you attracting people to want to work for you? When you think about Disney, oh my God, it's like the dream hospitality company to work for. They attract people. People line up to work for them. What are you doing? Even if you are part of a larger brand, what are you doing to attract people that they want to work for this Courtyard or this Marriott or this Hilton? It's about attracting. And I totally agree with that.
And authenticity. So you can say all these things that you believe this and you are that, blah, 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 but you have to put the pedal to the metal and actually do it, because these potential employees and your customers will figure out quick if you're just full of BS.
Yes. I'd love to know from everybody listening in and watching, are you doing anything particularly creative to attract? Love to see that. Yeah.
Also, I'd say to any candidates that are in the chat right now, have you ever had an experience where you've actually felt like you have been sort of attracted to that job, where you've gone, wow, oh my God, that looks amazing. Why wouldn't I want to work there? If you've had that experience, then please do tell us, because that could be a way for employers to actually understand what works from a candidate perspective in terms of what they're seeing. Something I was going to add to what Aidan was saying was, one, I completely agree with what he said, but also I think there's like a culture of ticking boxes, where when you do come to recruit, you kind of go, okay, well, we need to do this and we need to do that and we need to do that and then we need to do this. But if you literally live it, if your business lives what it preaches every single day, you're never going to have a box ticking scenario, because they're always going to be ticked. They're always going to be there because it's in your DNA, it's in your nature. Oh my God, go on!
Good point. There you go.
If you live, you know, what you're saying, and you're not just that box ticker that goes, crap, we've got to start recruiting soon. Right, let's get all the team together and let's start building a profile of something that we ultimately want to be, but we know that we aren't for 12 months of the year. And that's not the way recruitment should be, and that's not the way that you should be projecting what you're doing, because ultimately your employees know that you're not the business that you're portraying. You are when you need to recruit, but you're not when you're having to tick that box.
It's these job requirements too, like the job postings. And it's a little bit more difficult for us as headhunters because we get the parameters from the client. But when I'm pushing on the client, I'm like, please, like, dwindle down those requirements, because you're just like taking your pool and you're just taking that umbrella and closing it more and more and more, and less people can fit in, and you might be losing that golden nugget. So
but also, how much easier do they make it for you when a really good brand and a good business comes to you because you're the specialist in your market, and therefore you're going to be able to attract the talent? But actually attracting the talent becomes really easy for you because you literally just have to name drop the company and they go, I've seen them loads, really good business, great brand, you know, everything they seem to do from an employee perspective seems great. The reviews are amazing. Why wouldn't I want to work for them? So actually, in this difficult hiring market where there's so many different employers looking for talent, actually your client is already top number one priority, and between you, the client, and the candidate, the whole process seems easier. But it's because it's all to do with brand perception, good or bad, and that client can go from number one on the priority list of that candidate's jobs to right at the bottom, and actually they're not that interested. So if you focus on that throughout the whole year, it makes it easier when they come to us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
I think Ian makes a really good point here, by the way, guys, as well. Our industry is all about the personal touch. Starts at the top and has to make its way through the organization. And I completely agree with that. I think it definitely starts with the top. It starts with the decision maker. It starts with the person that's influencing and leading the team. Because how else is the direction of the business really going to go where they ultimately want it to be? And I completely agree with you, Ian. I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, absolutely spot on.
Yes, I 100% agree in all aspects, from recruiting to culture to how you show up every day. And it's almost like when, I'll give you an example, as a general manager at a professional business hotel, and I showed up with my personality, and everybody was like, oh, we can have fun. Oh, you set the example, and it's almost like you're saying, yes, I give you permission. This is how we can be. We can have fun. We can do this. And so same thing, when it starts at the top, it's almost like you set the example, and you also are giving the permission, letting them be that person.
Yeah. In terms of from our perspectives, this would be quite an interesting one. What do you think would be like 3 tips from each of us for people that were focusing on their brand perception right now in terms of their hiring process? Things that they could really implement, things that they really should avoid. Are there any key ones that you guys would look for or advise your clients on?
Yeah, I would say. Go ahead, Aidan.
Well, okay, I will go, but I got to 2 in my head and then just started. So you might have to.
You're probably going to take mine. That's why I wanted to jump before you.
Yes, I hope I do. Right. First thing when you start thinking about your brand perception is to not think about the image you're putting out initially. As in, don't start with what you're portraying externally. Instantly just take a review of what your business is, where you're at with your employees, your staff, and what you've done good and bad previously to basically just analyze where you're at in order to improve brand perception. You can't instantly just go, right, let's just start portraying this really good image and spend a load of money on our socials and our marketing if you treat your staff like crap and actually you don't look after them in terms of salaries, packages, or just small little perks that don't cost anything. Like having that energy coming in every day, like Christine just suggested there, and giving them an opportunity to have fun and relax and be themselves. So first thing is look internally before you start even worrying about your brand perception, because it all starts there. And bear in mind, recommendations and word of mouth is the biggest thing that you get from a recruitment perspective. The second one I had was be consistent. Make sure you've got a marketing campaign where it is consistent, it's regular. Jeremy and Tom are amazing advocates for that, and they're brilliant with it. Every Tuesday, ENFTV goes out. Jeremy has things go out on his YouTube almost every day, and people are therefore seeing what they're doing from a brand perspective, and it looks really good. They're my 2. I'm going to stop at 2 and let everyone else say anything because I'm stumped.
I'll do 1.
Okay.
1 because
This
there's so
is not
many.
following the rules.
Okay, fine. I'll do 3. I'll be quick with mine. So I think obviously social media is the way to put your company out there, but I challenge to take away the restrictions of just keeping it so streamlined and so corporate, and empower your team to show a day in a life. Empower people you trust within the company, hourly workers, staff that are in there working, and empower them not only to have fun with social media. There you go. I have it here, but I can't really air hold myself.
Do it.
But empower your team. So that's not only going to help get the day in the life of your company, but it's also going to give them pride in the organization. And I'm a product of that. So I'll stop there. Also, transparency is key. And even in the interview process, stop messing around with candidates. If they're not a fit, just talk to them. Don't ghost them. I mean, it all ties together because these candidates are your customers, and not only your customers, but they know more about you than your customers do, because now they're sitting with your upper management. So that moves quick. And then I think, like I said earlier, authenticity and just living what you're preaching would be my 3 tips.
Yes.
Yeah. Christine, what would yours be?
Okay, well, first of all, I have to talk to Marsha. She's talking about how the hospitality industry is missing the boat on seniors.
Yeah.
And Marsha, I'm right with you. This is one of the tips on my top tips workshop that I do for recruiting and retention is we have a whole army of wonderful, capable, beautiful seniors out there. And if you haven't tapped into those retirement communities, they are vaxxed. They are loving travel and travel benefits. And that is a great place to tap into. So, Marsha, I'm right with you on that. And I know a couple people actually tagged onto your comments about that. So, yes, if you haven't thought about reaching out to those retirement communities, looking for amazing workforce, they are ready to be your concierge. Awesome. So now the other thing I want to say back to our tips is I want to think about point it to you in a different way. When we're thinking about taking ourselves and our own career up to that next level, we think about that pie: performance, image, and exposure. If you want to take your brand up that, what is the most important piece? Is it performance? Is it image? Is it exposure? And most people will go, oh, it's of course performance. You have to perform. But performance is just the invitation to the table to get to the next level. Really, it's about your image and mostly your exposure. So think about that the same way as your own self in your career development. How do I develop my brand or my company or my hotel that I'm working for inside a brand? And how do I get that exposure? That might just begin that thought process of how you take that step.
I want to say something because Ian brought something up, and I think it's in response to what I said about empowering your employees with social media. And he said, social media can destroy your brand perception. All it takes is one disgruntled ex-employee. Very true, Ian. That's why for management that are looking to empower their team, it would be, for me, people that you have your eye on. You're really, really excited, enthusiastic employees who have that buy-in. And also, if they are doing your social media, yes, proof it. Don't give them the keys to the car and let them go run, wild with it. Make sure it goes through the channel, but they're going to give a unique perspective of the company that you have no clue about, because they are on the grind, on their feet, running miles a day on their Apple Watch at your property, at your restaurant. So good point, Ian. Just keep a close eye on it.
I was going to bring up Ian's point and discuss it myself, actually, and I'm glad you did, because I would touch on that. And also what Katie said was, it's not all about marketing. You need to take care of people, and the brand will speak for itself as the people who are motivated to do the job. Empower them and give back. And that is so true, right? Empower your staff, show them that you care, give them the opportunity to be themselves and have fun whilst doing it at the same time, right? But what Ian has said, it made me think of a point. Has it reached the States about Brewdog in the last couple of weeks? Have you seen all the disgruntled ex-employees from Brewdog?
No, tell me, please.
So you know Brewdog?
Have you, Christine?
No.
You know Brewdog?
No.
Is it a beverage of choice?
Yes. Yeah. So they are more than up and coming now. They're huge, but massive in the UK. They have pushed out into the States now, but they're basically like a new cool lager ale type business, right? And they've scaled rapidly, based up in Scotland, and their marketing in the UK has been crazy good. Like amazing, and everyone has looked at them for years and gone, wow, I want to work for them. Wow, they look incredible. They say what they think on social media. They're trying to buck the trend. They're all about sustainability, and it's amazing, right? But then 2 weeks ago, they had over 150 ex-employees sign a post on social media or on a website that basically said their culture was awful and really toxic, and they really didn't like it there. And actually that one post, which obviously has over 150 signatures, so it's not to be ignored, right?
Yeah,
but that has been created for the last like 2 weeks, non-stop attention in a negative way for Brewdog. And I know people have stopped buying their beers and stopped talking positively.
Yeah. Can I chime in on that? Because I mean, obviously, it's foreign to me, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But the 150 signatures is pretty powerful. So I would definitely weigh that as very negative for the company. But like with that shows you the employees, all these candidates out there that a lot of times will chime in on social media. Sometimes I'll make a post and they'll say, well, what can we do? Employers aren't listening. Yeah, they are. Like this show, all the shows, this is one show within a huge universe of our industry, and they are listening. They are listening. And the more employees chime in and talk about the things that like, because right now there's such this like scare of like, there's no employees, like where are the candidates? And Thomas and I and Aidan and Christine, we're all trying to do use our platforms to push this out. And sometimes you'll have people chime and say, well, nothing's going to happen. That's why we do what we do. And everybody listening, people that are listening, that are watching our shows or using their own platforms, the more we talk about things that you want to happen, great employers are going to listen. That's rant, but
yes, you're right. Change is already happening. Look at the different things that are happening out there, and it's
sign-on bonuses for sushi for hourly workers.
Yeah, meal programs are coming back. Transportation opportunities are coming. There is a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that then brings us on to another point, doesn't it? I think that is really nicely going to bring us on to
right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh well, no, actually, it doesn't come on to that. I think a point later on does, right?
Oh, well,
we can do that one.
Let's do that one because we have it teed up, and let's go.
We have it teed
up, and then we'll jump in. All right, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you resetting your energy after interacting with a difficult associate, guest, boss, or an interview situation? So tell us in the chat, if you are experiencing that, or if you've got a solid plan that when your energy gets interrupted, let's just say, how do you get yourself back and not have the rest of the day blown? Because interview can throw us off. You might. There's a lot of unexperienced interviewers out there, and that could throw off your energy as well for maybe the next interview. Or you get a difficult guest or a difficult associate interaction. How do you regain your energy? One of the things that I talk about with a lot of my teams is to have that bucket filler. What fills your bucket? Right there at your desk. What is a list? Because we're usually the last people that we take care of. We're always taking care of all of the people that in our lives, and we're usually the last that we take care of. So we just say, "Oh, I'll get over it. I'll do it later." But if you have that little list of things that refill your energy right there in on your desk, then you can do that. Whether it's take a walk. What is happening here?
Put Ian up.
Absolute alcohol. That's the answer.
Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, Captain Morgan works. That little list, whether it's scotch, taking a walk, calling someone special to you. But keep that list there so that you can recharge your energy. What else do you guys give us some thoughts on besides Scotch and the Rocks?
So I feel like we're going to have loads of really funny suggestions, and I'm all for it, and I can't wait for more to come in. So throw some really cool ones that we can just laugh about.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Yes.
Or not necessarily what I do, but it is so important to make sure that you do reset. Can't stress that enough. If you come out of a bad interview or a bad conversation with a recruiter or a hiring manager, or you don't get a role for whatever reason, you're feeling down, it's so important to reset, because anything that you then do after that moment, if you haven't reset, will be worse than if you would have reset, right? So we talk all the time in Clubhouse about if you're not feeling up for a call, to reschedule, to reset it. and not be feeling down or in the dumps when you're having a call or an interview. And it's so important. We said energy is everything last month. And it really is. For anyone that's worked with me, Tom included, we all have bad situations happen to us. And like, as a recruiter, there's no way.
That's what I do.
Yes.
Work out daily. Nice.
Marsha, I was about to say it. I literally have to go to the gym and be a maniac in there.
Look, it's Marcia.
I have to.
I was going to say
Marcia.
Yes. And if you're at work and you can't go and do a workout,
it's literally spelled out for me. Marcia.
Literally just out for a walk. Oh my God.
Marcia, not Marsha.
So this is actually pretty relevant for me this week, because I was on a call after a series of things that happened, and the last call was not like a business call. It was with sort of somebody within the business that I've got, and they just sort of said, "Are you okay?" And I sort of took myself back a bit, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And they were just like, "You just don't seem like your usual Tom self." And I was just like, do you know what? No, I'm not. And they were like, okay, well, what's wrong? And for a minute there, I sort of thought to myself, no, just pass it off. We'll just crack on with the call and you'll get through the other end, and then you can just vent afterwards. And it was literally because I didn't do what we're talking about right now. I didn't reset. I didn't give myself a minute. I didn't go outside. I didn't talk to my partner. I didn't, walk my dog. I didn't do anything. I just was like, nah, sod this, crack on. And that is proof. And that was literally on Wednesday this week. And that was proof that this is why it's so important, because it will ultimately come across in what you do, no matter what that is. And that's not where you want to be. And that wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be that guy where somebody had to say, are you okay? I wanted to be the guy that everybody sees as, smiley, positive, and all the rest of it. But we're not like that. We're not 100% all the time. And if we have that expectation of ourselves, we're only ever going to lose.
But that's okay too, Tom.
Yeah.
Like, just to support you there, like, it's okay to feel down, and it's okay not to be okay, and to have those moments where you feel a bit rubbish. But actually realizing it is like the best thing you could have done. Like, you realize it, you address it. I've gone into so many conversations where I probably shouldn't have had that conversation because I was feeling a bit annoyed, a bit angry, or my tone might have been a little bit different to how I would hope that it would always be. But it's okay. We're all human, right? So that's going to happen. How many times did I used to have something negative happen to me? Obviously, I like to think I didn't have too many negative things happen, Tom. But if I had a bad experience, I lost out on a job, or a candidate I really wanted to get a role, didn't get it, I would just literally get up and disappear, right? I'd not even talk to anyone. I'd just get up out of my desk and just walk. I'd just leave the office and do a lap of the building just to have fresh air.
Where's he gone?
You saw him do that?
Right.
See him smacking his car with a stick outside.
Right.
And then I would come back and I'd have energy again. I'm like, right, guys, this is life. This is what happens. This is recruitment. Let's get back to it. And people need to treat their job search like that too, right?
Yeah. Here's another thing. It's important to talk to your team, if you're part of a team, to get other perspectives on what things you need to recuperate. So, for example, I'm not a video game person, but a lot of guys are. So one of the teams I've been working with recently, one of the gentlemen stepped up and said, what really helps me is playing a video game. And we were like, oh, great. You know what? Let's set up, because she has a little Hawaii room in her hotel, and that people can go and meditate and just relax and recharge in the Hawaii room. And so they added an area where they can play video games. So again, talk to your people, see what kind of things you need to quickly be able to recharge. Here's one other thing I want to
That's really cool, Christine.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. And I'll let you chime. I just want to add one thing. When I first started in recruiting, I worked for H&M, the Swedish company.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how they are. It's been like 10 years since I worked there, but they were so progressive and so cool to work for when I first started. I remember we had like the most, it's going to sound kind of dated, but it is. They had a smoking room. There's so many smokers that worked. They literally built an encased glass room with like ventilation where smokers, they could go and smoke anytime. It's like the little things that, I mean, and they had a nap room. So like these little things like are like the Hawaii room. It's huge.
Yes. At Marriott headquarters, they have these sleeping pods. And I'm like, who the hell is going to get a sleeping pod when Mr. Marriott could walk by? But I did love that they had the treadmill desks. They had the sleeping pods, really neat things. Now, a lot of our offices, we're not going to be able to afford things like that. But we could maybe put a Hawaii meditation room, or we could put a video game. Now, also, Gina said music, and 100%. Put those headphones, put on your at-bat song, and recharge. I love that one. And then Marcia said something, too, that I want to address.
Marcia.
Oh, Marcia, thank you. Marcia, thank you.
For the last time, it's Marcia.
I didn't see that part.
That is what I was like bashing my head in like a minute ago. I did the same thing.
Thank you, Marcia.
She's like, let me spell it out for you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like best friends with Marcia right now because I'm really connecting with you. You said you received some hard news. We all get hard feedback here and there. Mm-hmm. Here is another way to when you have that difficult guest, difficult associate, difficult hard news, is asking yourself how you can be fascinated by what just happened. That's fascinating, that information you just tell me. How can you be fascinated by things instead of upset and angered and frustrated by them? And a lot of the things that just happened, if you can say, what fascinates me about this, you can start to maybe see a bigger picture or another perception or perspective. Mm-hmm. So ask yourself, what's fascinating about what just happened?
That's a really good point.
And you can even be like, you know what? I'm fascinated that I didn't lose my temper. I'm fascinated that I didn't, say something I regret. What can you be fascinated about?
I want to, now that we're still talking about Marcia, I want to bring up a point because she actually brought something up a while ago. And I want to do real quick, before I throw the next banner up, I just want to touch on it because it's a really good point. She said, no one on this platform discussed childcare. Employers need to be reminded of that in hospitality. That is really, really huge over here. And that is part of the problem. Yes. I'm living proof of it. So I have a 3-year-old daughter. Everybody probably knows that here, at least. I literally can't get her into daycare until August 8th. So I'm juggling her and my nanny, and she might run up any minute and smash on my door. I don't know. But my point is, I'm blessed to be able to have a job where I can work from home. Now, what about the millions of people in hospitality that do not have that blessing? They have to be on property. So we definitely have to be talking about that more. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually something that more and more employees in the hospitality industry are realizing is a huge downfall where they are sitting right now due to the amount of talent they've lost anyway. So there's lots of ways that people are getting more creative with it. In a lot of ways, there are difficulties because, of course, if anybody on this call has actually worked in hospitality, I have, where you do have to get up 6 o'clock in the morning for a breakfast service. You do have to stay until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night until your guests for that certain conference go to bed. There are situations that, unfortunately, it doesn't cater to. There are certain elements of hospitality or the hospitality industry in terms of functions, your finance department, your operational department, your commercial department, and so on and so forth, where they're still not flexible, which I find absolutely diabolical and unbelievably, irritating because it doesn't make any sense. Especially now we've seen so many people having flexible working hours due to obviously COVID anyway. And now we're actually seeing businesses, for example, I won't mention the brand, but one of the largest hotel brands in the world attended a conference that I organized in the August of last year. They said we would not have anybody working from home at all. Not going to happen. No way. What happened? Everybody is now based from home, and they probably come in 1 day a week, and that is it from now on. And their minds were turned because all these smaller hospitality groups that were so much more agile, so much more creative in what they were doing anyway, the huge giant was just sort of like, oh crap, right, we need to change up now. The one that's been sluggish for the last God knows how long is now thinking, oh right, we now need to change our ways. So I think Marcia makes a really good point. The problem is quite rightly so, it's not getting spoken about enough, which again is something that if we don't make a change, at least in our industry in the UK anyway, if we don't make a change, we've got to find over 750,000 people somewhere. And that isn't going to happen with any light feet. It's just not. Right. So creativity needs to happen, communication needs to happen. And they now, to be honest with you as well, not in a sort of quite direct way, but they need to start listening to their market and what it's saying, because if they don't, they're going to lose, and they're going to continue to lose.
Yeah. And more of a reason why.
Drop the mic.
And boom. Where's my air horn? Hold on.
Where was it?
Is there a genuine reason as to why? Obviously, I'm the one here that's not in hospitality like the three of you and recruiting for it, and very much like intrinsically involved. But is there a genuine reason why you can't have somebody come in at 10 and work until 4, and in the morning they're obviously managing the children, dropping the children at school, or doing whatever they have to do to obviously look after their children, and then later on in the afternoon disappear because obviously they have to pick them up and they have to look after them? Is there a genuine reason why hospitality industry in itself, or hospitality businesses, aren't just offering that like they are in head office roles? Because I have parents that will start work at 10, finish at 2, go home, log on at 4, then finish at 7. So they're working a full day's shift essentially, but on their own time. I understand you have to be on site, right? But do you have to be there first thing in the morning and then last thing at night? Surely there's a bit of flexibility that can be created. I guess I'm asking that for you.
Yeah, there is a lot of ways to be creative in our scheduling and whatnot. We've got 24 hours of the day to cover, so it can be challenging. But that also opens opportunity for, if you're a person who is home with your kids during the day and your husband's working or your wife is working, and then now they get home and now you can go to work. That also opens up opportunity for that. Again, with the guarantee of 4 p.m. checkout for elite members, that changed a lot in our housekeeping departments, where we needed to have people stay later rather than clean all the rooms earlier. So that's opening up opportunities to change the schedules up as well. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity for creativity. The problem is that so many people get caught in, no, we're in operation at 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Yeah. You need to just open up your mind and think about what's possible.
And back in the day, it's a lot easier now with a lot of the automation with the scheduling, that you just kind of plug in their schedules and it picks. But I remember back in the day, it was like whoever the HR manager was or the GM, they just didn't want to deal with all the requests. It was just like, leave me alone. I'm writing schedule. I'm in here all day writing schedule. And then every 5 seconds there's someone handing them requests. Where I think now, I don't know, Christine, is there that excuse anymore? Like it's kind of like, it's easier now. They just plug in their schedule and then it makes it, right?
Yes, regardless, you need to have a process. If your life's in chaos because you're getting all these requests and everything's crazy, you don't have a process. Yeah. And then just, the requests have to be in by this date. Here's the deal. It'll be approved, whatever that process is, whether it's electronic, whether it's manual, but you just have to have a process.
Yeah. And understand your people, right?
Yeah.
You need to understand what the situations are. That transparency with your employer and employee, it's so simple. You just understand what they need from you. Mm-hmm. And if they're happy, they will stay and they will be committed. They will do everything they need to do because they know, unfortunately, there's not a lot of other brands that will do the same thing. And the problem is that hospitality is an archaic minded business. It is, unfortunately, on the most part, because it still thinks of itself, well, it's been done this way for 20 years. This is the way it works. This is how it is. This is how, sod all that. Throw the rule book out the window. Shut up. Let's move forward.
Right.
But, that's the sort of attitude I think sometimes the hospitality needs a kick up the ass, to be quite honest with you. Mm-hmm. And I'm all about that.
And for example, when I was a general manager, all of the housekeepers wanted Sunday off. Sunday was their big day. Yet in a hotel, Sunday is like, oh my God, it's the hardest day of the week to clean all the rooms because the weekenders, it's a lot of extra. So what I put it to them, like, what ideas do you guys have? How could we get this where everybody's getting this fair time? And they created Ask Your People, because they got the answers. And they created a rotation where every Sunday somebody else got off and everybody got fair time. It was never unfair.
Yeah.
See Bo's comment?
I was going to say, this is awesome. Yeah. This perfect. This is exactly what we need.
Love it, Bo.
Yeah.
Here, Bo. Hold
innovation.
on. Bo, you deserve this right here. Here, Bo.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go, Bo.
How about it, Bo?
Come on.
Get the horn. Jeremy hasn't ever given me the horn.
Yeah, I know.
What happened? What did I do?
You don't give Aidan the horn.
Oh, Aidan. Oh.
Now you realize you'll say anything next, and he'll do it.
Just say your name, Aidan. Just say your name. What's your name, Aidan?
He's not playing this game. He's not playing this game.
So,
oh dear.
Here's one more thing I want to put out there. How many of you out there have ever given back your vacation because there's just no availability for you to take it? If you leave the operation, it's going to crash, and you're not letting that happen to your people. I have given back my vacation almost every year of being a general manager, and until I went to an above property role, I never took a vacation. So here's some different creative things to be thinking about. If you're in a hospitality company, if you have a bench, there's always somebody needing that, a vacation, surgery, maternity leave. There's always spots that need to be filled. Create this bench team so that people can really take the vacation and the benefits they get. So that's my little 2 cents on vacation. If you're, sure, give me 3 weeks vacation that I can never take.
We put up 4 banners to talk about, and we got through half.
I know.
And it's my fault because Aidan, you wanted me to pull one up, and I totally screwed it up. Which one do you want me to pull up? Do you want to pull it up real quick? Because it was
no, you didn't screw it up. To be fair, I made it awkward because we'd already set the banners. And then I adjusted it and said, "Oh, bring up the last one." So it's my fault.
Jeremy, if you're going to bring one more thing up, I think I'd love to know what the audience thinks about the robots.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
So let's do this. Let's tee it up. I have the video already teed up. So Christine, can you just kind of touch on Ken's post?
Yes. Ken Patel, he is evolutionizing and technologizing the hospitality industry with his platforms. And the latest thing he just came out, and I'm on his advisory board, so I just know the passion behind Ken and his operation, is robots that will be cleaning the rooms. Basically, the only thing a human will have to do, according to Ken, is sanitize the room and make the bed. And then this robot supposedly is going to clean the bathroom, do the vacuuming and everything. So I'm just really curious. I don't know.
I'll play the video. Let's look. Let's take a look, guys. Here we go.
I mean, the concept of it, great.
Here we go. Do they play the music too? This is booming out of their boombox arms right here in that music. So
I want to know what the audience thinks. What do you think about having robots cleaning the rooms and whatnot? I mean, hey, I can't wait to see it in action and see if that works. It would certainly help a lot of us, but I don't know. I
mean, it would certainly manage, like, if you had like a shift crisis but they're not 100% of the time. If you have a shift crisis, you need something filled, and somebody drops out last minute. Hey, send in a robot.
Call Judy. Call Judy Jetson. What is that?
Judy Jetson. I love that.
Is that what it was?
Do they do domestic versions of them? I'd love one of those things for my house. If the only thing it doesn't need to do is make the bed, that'd be absolute bliss.
I mean, I do love my Roomba, and I was skeptical of it when I first got it. So I think, and that I'm not being funny. Like,
yeah,
when I first got the Roomba, I was like, oh, how is this thing going to help? But oh my God, it helps. I mean, like that thing run, right? Just let it roll and get the dog hair and stuff all day.
Is that the Hoover that hits something and changes direction?
Yeah, and it has like a sensor, and it just goes through my house. It picks up everything, and I love the thing. Now
I want Ken to come on the show.
Yeah,
he will.
I get him on the show. He goes on all the shows.
He will. He'll come on.
I want him to tell me how the robot picks up the sponge if it drops it.
Aidan, I'm going to talk to him, and I know Christine can as well. And we'll get him on next month, and we'll make him answer our questions. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that it did work. It'd be great because there's such a need. At least here in the States, the need for housekeeping right now is so out of control that I literally know recruiters for some of these staffing agencies, and I'm friends with them. I used to work with them, and I said, "Hey, I have leads. There's so many leads. Do you guys want some leads?" No. Who doesn't want leads?
Right. Come on.
Who does not want leads? They don't want any more leads. Like, okay, so there's a huge housekeeping need. So cautiously optimistic.
It seems so incredibly ridiculous or crazy that this robot can clean the room and we can really eliminate some of the human factor there. But if you would have told me in year 2000 that I'd be sitting here with people from UK broadcasting, having these interviews like this, I mean, I'd be like, yeah, right. So,
and I was going to say the same thing. Like, I obviously made a joke about that. I actually don't think that's an answer I need answering, right? Although it'd be quite funny for the hiring lens to get it.
I should ask you for a couple questions. I mean, I got them loaded up.
All joking aside, like AI is taking over the world. AI produces shortcuts and means for us to move on, and technology is advancing so quickly, right? That actually, I'm sure there is a space and a gap for this. So I don't doubt that at all. I just like to have a little fun and game.
Of course. And I love the Judy Jetson reference. I love that. Yeah, it's awesome. And you know what? We need visionaries. We need people like Ken who have this vision and bring us to that next level of their crazy visions and whatnot. I love it.
Yeah. So that's just a new direction. It's a new opportunity for positive change potentially. Again, we'll see how the sponge picking up situation goes, but if we can overcome that, I think we'll be in a good place.
Thomas, how come it went from very light to very dark? Did you guys go from day to night like really quick over there?
Oh no, I've got one light here, but if I open my curtain,
it rains a lot over there.
Oh mate, it is raining pretty badly up here anyway. Remember, I'm 200 miles away from Aidan, so slightly different.
The sun is shining.
The cloud is moving slowly to Aidan's house as we speak.
Yes, and I agree with you, Bo.
What up?
I personally do not care for those restaurant experiences with the iPads. I really don't like them at all. And honestly, in certain situations, I'd probably leave because I just don't want that kind of experience. So I 100% am hearing you on that, Bo.
I don't know what it is, if it's just our generation, but whenever they stick an iPad in front of me at the end, I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm here for experience. I like talking to my server and I like that. But maybe it's just us, Christine. Maybe we're just not hit. Like maybe it's like the younger kids want to like come in with their headphones on and they just want to and like
that's me and Aidan.
Okay, all right.
The younger ones of the group.
The gray.
So
these kids these days.
Aidan, what do you think? What's your perspective?
No, I'm with you.
Okay.
Like, I'm such a social chatterbox and love talking to people anyway, but actually part of when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a restaurant, I'm there for the experience. Like, it's not just about good food and it's not just about good service. You can have good food with rubbish service. You can have rubbish service with or whatever it is, the other way, whatever. I've confused myself, right? But it doesn't matter. It's all about the whole experience. So I'm all for service, and I would hate just to have an iPad in front of me and just
Yeah.
I mean, obviously now with COVID, there's a lot of times you're going into restaurants and you're ordering off your phone initially. But I think that they've kind of done that here in the UK just because it's quite difficult because everyone's seated. But I'm sure that will change again. And yeah, I'm all for it. So yeah, I agree with both.
Yeah, good topic, Bo. Yeah. All right, I think you were wrapping up. I don't know, Jeremy.
I don't know. Like I kind of want to keep going, but like, and then I'm like, wait, we said 30 minutes, and we always do this. So, for those of you watching, we've been doing this prior to 11 as well, and we just segue in, and we'll turn it off, and we'll still talk. So like, we can keep going. If there's any questions you want to bring up before we do sign off, people that are listening, if you want us to bring something up, now's your time to just throw that in the comment thread, and we'll pull you up and address it. If not, every final Friday, so the last Friday of every month, we're going to do this live. And I promise we'll start asking, I'll ask more, like, hey, contribute, throw it in there. Because we're used to doing this on Clubhouse every single week. So it's easier for us to have that combo with people. So the comment section is our way to answer your questions. And let me see here. I'm going to pull up Bo because we're signing off, and I'll just, what you're here. People even want experience the drive-throughs. Why do you think In-N-Out, Raising Cane's, Chick-fil-A, that 1 minute of, oh, absolutely. Like, you know, like as a hospitality recruiter and a restaurant recruiter as well, I do both. Those concepts are easy to recruit for more than the competitors. And that's true. Everybody's buzzing about them.
Yes,
So,
and Bo, I want to add to your list Portillo's here in Chicago. Portillo's, they're out there in the drive-through lane, right there in person at your window. They're amazing.
We have them here in Tampa, like right up the street from me, and they are fantastic. Yeah, we do in my neighborhood, about 10 minutes away from me, and they are yes. For Aidan and Thomas who don't know what Portillo's is, it's like Chicago dogs and Italian steaks. Yeah. Next time you guys fly over here across the pond, we'll take you out and get you some.
Looking forward to it.
Good healthy food. Put some calories on you.
We actually will have to come out there one day. We'll
have to do it.
I will come over there with my poncho, and I will say, you guys definitely have the better music over there, so I will be all about that. Sorry, US. I don't know, like. You guys, what is going on with you guys? Why do you take our music and just make it better all the time? Stop doing that.
I mean, like, come on. I mean, you only need to look for one of the best.
What happened? Come on. Give us a break.
They came from the UK, right?
All the time, man.
Just
shake my head all the time, man. You guys over in London,
Beatles, Rolling Stones, Oasis.
I know. Keep it going.
We could go on.
Yeah. That's just one genre.
Love it.
So anyway,
this has been great. This has been so good.
Yes. And thanks to everybody out there saying that you're enjoying the show. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Mm-hmm.
This has been a blast. I'm going to sign off. You can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Jeremy Nichols. Again, I already told you what I did in the intro, so I'm going to move it on over to Christine.
Hey, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, The Wise Pineapple, and the website is thewisepineapple.com. Come see me.
Awesome. You can check me out at halorecruitment.co.uk. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and drop me a message at any point. They're always open, and I'd always love to help.
Yep. Guys, again, to Thomas Finn, you can find me on LinkedIn, really active on LinkedIn. You can also find my YouTube channel, which is ENF TV, and also on Instagram. And again, just to mirror what Jeremy said, every single week on a Friday, it's always on Clubhouse, 4 o'clock BST. And then we do this on the last Friday of every month. We love doing these. We love them to be interactive. Thank you so much to all of you for being so great. And yeah, thank you to everybody that's been on the show today, because I absolutely love this, to be honest, guys. I absolutely love it. It's been a blast. My mouth is hurting from laughing. Yeah.
And stay fascinated. Stay fascinated.
Thank you. See you guys next time, and have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.